So today today I will be talking about an incident that happened at Rolling River Day Camp in the summer of 2019. I just want to start off by saying I have nothing really negative to say about Rolling River Day Camp. I mean, it's a great camp. Everyone is excellent there. I was a CIT there for 2 years. Everyone was awesome. Thank you to, everyone at the camp, for the amazing time. It was a great thank you to everyone. All my counselors, all my, everyone. Thank you for an amazing time. But I want to know a situation I had in the summer of 2019. I'm on my kid named Michael. So the situation starts off in the summer of 2019. We got done with swimming, right, and we head to the locker room. And, I get online. Michael's in front of me, and we wait online. I'm not in a rush. I have nowhere to go. I'm not rushing or anything. I'm in no rush to go anywhere. I'm just, online, waiting my turn, just relaxing. Michael, walks out of line, walks away, gets out of line, walks away, and starts walking. I don't know where. I call out to him. I say, Michael, come back. Don't leave. I call out to him, ask him, where are you going? Why? He doesn't respond, doesn't tell me anything, just walks off and walks away. I told him not to leave. I said, wait, where you going? Don't leave, come back here. What are you doing? He doesn't communicate with me, didn't turn around and say anything, just walked away. Tried to look for him, couldn't find him. So in this situation, I assume, maybe he's just getting his shoes, maybe he's just getting his shirt, maybe he's just getting his towel, maybe he's just getting his clothes. I say, okay, I'll wait for him. 4 or 5 minutes go by, I time it, and 4 or 5 minutes go by, right? 4 or 5 minutes, maybe longer goes by. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, I could have just went in there and gotten dressed, dried off, and dressed and ready to go. And the time it took me to wait for him to come back. He'll say I didn't wait, and I did wait. I waited for 5-10 minutes, maybe, for him to come back. 4, 5, 10 minutes for him to come back. At first, I assumed that he was going to be quick. He was going to run, get his towel, get his dress. Not dress, get his clothes, get his, his, towel or clothes or something. But I waited 4 or 5 minutes for him to come back. He doesn't come back. Mind you, he got out of line, he walked away. I called to him, he didn't respond, didn't communicate with me what he was doing. I was confused. I was, left guessing, not sure what he was doing. I called out to him, I said, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. He didn't tell me what he was doing, he just walked off and left. So anyway, 4 or 5 minutes go by longer. And at this point, I'm like, well, at this point I might as well just go in because he has already been gone for long enough. To the point where it would have, I'm not going to wait forever for him. I'm not going to wait another 5-10 minutes for him to come back. I'm going to go in, get dried off, get dressed, and go out. So I did exactly that. I went in, locked the door, and rather than Michael coming back, in the 4, 5, 10 minutes that I gave him to come back, he comes back 2 minutes after I get in. He's angry, he's mad. I say, I'm sorry, Michael, you left the line, you walked away, I told you not to, I told you to come back, I asked you what you were doing, you didn't communicate with me, you didn't turn around, you just up and left, you didn't say nothing, you just left. And not only that, I looked for you and couldn't find you, so I didn't know what else to do. I gave you the courtesy of 5-10 minutes for you to come back. You didn't come back in the 5-10 minutes I gave you, and I think that was more than enough time for you to come back, and what you were doing. But no, apparently not, according to you. So he's mad, he's angry, he's like, you're gonna pay for this. I'm like, whatever, he's just mad, he's just angry. It's not really my fault. I apologize to him. I said, I'm sorry, Michael, you left the line. You left the line, you didn't communicate with me what you were doing. You were gone for more than 5 minutes. So I assumed that actually you were either, in the next stall over or you were doing something else. You were busy. I assumed you were busy. So I naturally went in. He gets angry, he's mad, he's like, you're gonna pay for this, whatever. I don't care at this point. Well, whatever, and I don't care at this point. So anyway, another, days later, a couple days later, whatever, a couple days pass, and we get done with swimming. And we got done with swimming, and we got done with swimming, and I get in the stall. I don't realize Michael's in the stall next to me. I don't know that. I didn't realize that, or I didn't know. I put my shoes by the door closest to the door between our stalls, between the two stalls where Michael was and I was, and then all of a sudden I see a hand grab my shoes, throws it over. Grabs my shoes, I realize it's Michael. So I took my shoes and put them on the other side where he couldn't get to them. I got done drying off. I got done getting dressed and got out. As I get out, I see him getting out as well, and I see his face. He's angry. He's like angry at me. He's like very mad at me. I ignore him. I say, whatever, it's not worth my time. Whatever. But, yeah, so I get out and just leave. Well, another incident happens a few days later, or a couple days later, I'm not sure, where after swimming, we got done swimming, so I got back in the stall. I got in the stall, I was waiting my turn online for the stall, and it was about to be my turn. Then out of nowhere, out of the corner of my eye, Michael is running as fast as he can, he cuts in line in front of me, looks at me with a, sarcastic, I was here first, sarcastic, mocking tone, and slams the door in my face. I did not cut him. He left the line. I waited 5-10 minutes for him to come back, and I did wait. He'll say I didn't wait, and I didn't wait 5-10 minutes for him to come back, and he did not, come back. But anyway, I waited 5-10 minutes for him to come back, but, instead of coming back in the 5-10 minutes I gave him to come back, he comes back 5-10 minutes after when I'm in the stall. But anyway, runs as fast as he can, cuts me in line. I was here first, in the most sarcastic way possible. Slams the door in my face. I don't care anymore. I can just say whatever, I'll wait. So I get in the stall and say, Michael, look, man, that wasn't cool. What you've been doing isn't nice and isn't cool. And you're being a bully. And, if you continue to do this, I'm going to have to tell somebody. And, he says, snitches get stitches. Threatening me with violence because I told him I was going to have to tell him for being a bully. I don't think I did anything wrong. In my opinion, I gave him 5-10 minutes. I gave him ample time to come back. He didn't come back in that amount of time. I couldn't wait forever for him. I wasn't going to stand there for another 5 minutes or 10 minutes for him to come back. I did what I felt I had to do. And I felt if I was waiting any longer, I would have wasted time that I could have spent. In my mind, after 5-10 minutes, I could have just, walked, right into the stall, got dressed, dried off, got dressed, and got out. In the 5-10, it would have taken me 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do so. So in the same amount of time I've spent waiting for him, it would have been the same amount of time it would have taken me to get dried off, get dressed, and go. But, whatever. So, I'm leaving this to the public. What do you think? Was I in the wrong in the situation, or was I in the right? Now, again, when this incident happened, I was not in a rush. I got online, waited, a while. He left the line, walked away. I, did call out to him and say, Michael, don't leave. What are you doing? Where are you going? Did not respond. Didn't look back and try to tell me anything. Just took off and left. I looked for him, couldn't find him. Said, okay, maybe he's just trying to get something. Waited 5-10 minutes for him to come back, and I did wait. I timed it. 5-10 minutes for him to come back. Didn't come back. So in the 5-10 minutes I did give him, out of courtesy, I gave him 5-10 minutes thinking he would be back soon. But after 5-10 minutes, he didn't come back. So I didn't know what to do. So I just naturally went in. The store was open. No one was in there. He was gone for 5-10 minutes. I naturally said, well, he left the line and he didn't tell me what he was doing. He didn't communicate what he was doing. His fault. His fault. I waited an ample amount of time for him to come back, thinking he was going to come back soon. Maybe he just went off to get a towel. Maybe he went off to get clothes. Maybe he went off to get his shoes. I don't know what he was doing. Seems like he was socializing and doing whatever. But anyway, I waited 5-10 minutes anyway out of courtesy of him. I waited for 5 minutes or longer out of courtesy for him. And, after 5 minutes passed, I realized I'm not waiting forever for him. He should understand. I'm not going to wait 15 minutes for him to come back. It's not fair. And he should communicate what he was doing. He left the line, walked away, couldn't find him, and he was gone for a lengthy amount of time. The store was open. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't wasting any more time, and I had stuff to do. But tell me what you think. Was I the villain or the victim in this situation? Tell me what you think. Was I right or was I wrong? Was Michael right? Could Michael have handled it better? What do you think? I mean, again, I did wait for him for 5-10 minutes to see if he would come back. He didn't. I gave him ample enough time to come back, but he didn't come back. So tell me what you think. Was I the villain or the victim in the situation? And, yeah, tell me what you think. I don't know, I'm not going to be, I'm going to be biased and say I did nothing wrong. I mean, I did wait for him for as long as I could. He didn't come back. I didn't know what to do. But I did wait for him to come back. But, he didn't come back after 5-10 minutes, and, someone did side with him and claimed that I, cut him in line, that I, went ahead of him, and I didn't. He left the line and walked off and just walked wherever. And I waited for ample amount of time for him to come back. So, I don't know. I mean, Wilton River Day Camp, love it, but I've been bullied multiple times in that camp by multiple people. I was treated pretty, I was kicked in the leg by a camper once. When I was a camper, I was kicked in the leg. I was bullied. I was made fun of. And, yeah, I've had a bullying problem in that camp. I got no hate to Wilton River Day Camp. Love it. It's a wonderful place, but there's a bullying epidemic and a bullying problem. At least for me, I've noticed tons of people being bullied. And I was yelled at, picked on, by multiple people. So, not to hate the camp, but they need to watch the campers more because, there's a bullying problem. But tell me what you think. Was I the villain or the victim in this situation? And tell me what you think. Given the circumstances, tell me if I was the villain, if I was the victim in this situation. I obviously don't know what I did wrong. I waited for him for as long as I could. But after 5 or 10 minutes pass, it's just ridiculous to wait for him any longer. I don't know how long you're going to be for, so the store is open, so I take my chance and get done. I assumed that I would get done before he comes back. I assumed after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I would just, get in the stall and, I would dry off quickly and it would take me 30 seconds, maybe to 5 minutes, dry off, get dressed and head out. But Michael chose not to come back in the 5-10 minutes that it took me to, wait for him. He came back in 5-10 minutes after I waited for him. And, rather than handling it maturely, he decided to say, you're going to pay for this. Take my shoes and throw it over and threaten me when I tell him that he, will cut me in line, push me, cut me on line, and threaten me with violence when I told him what he did was uncool. But tell me what you think, and tell me if you think I'm the villain or the victim.